Our opening night at the Britt Festival Orchestra is going to be super exciting. It has 3 pieces on it. The second half is a piece that you know. At least you know the opening of this piece. It's Richard Strauss's Also sprach Zarathustra, one of his great tone poems. And of course, the very beginning of that piece was used in 2001, A Space Odyssey, and numerous parodies after that. It's got the very, very, very famous trumpet opening, legendary start to the piece. But the problem is that a lot of people know that little snippet of the music, and the rest of the piece is not as familiar, but the rest of the piece is just as ingenious, just as brilliant, and just as spectacular as that opening phrase is. And what's so remarkable about this piece is it takes you on a genuine philosophical journey. It's based on Nietzsche's work of the same title, and Strauss does such a brilliant, exceptional job at exploring deep material, profound contemplations of human nature, the nature of the universe, which is a hard subject matter to turn into music. But Strauss does it in such a way that you are absolutely engrossed in this musical sound world that he's created. And those opening notes that are played by the trumpet that are so famous become the DNA, the core material that generates every single other musical phrase that you hear throughout this extraordinary journey. It's the perfect way to kick off the season, but preceding that, we're going to play 2 very other special, remarkable works. The piece that will kick off the very beginning of the season is by Christopher Cerrone. You know Chris because he was with us a couple years ago as our remarkable composer-conductor fellow. And because of that, he was commissioned to write a piece for the Britt Festival already. So now we're going to play a piece of his called The Insects Became Magnetic. And this is a work for electronics and orchestra. And Chris told me that after his experience as our composer-conductor fellow, it really influenced how he thought about writing for the orchestra, how he notated music, how he interfaced with electronics and all kinds of extra musical elements. So we're so excited to play a piece of music that actually has this connection because Chris's process was influenced by his experience here at Britt. The piece that you're going to hear is, as I said, a kind of concerto for electronic elements plus the full orchestra. And the genesis of the piece is that he was originally messing around with some chords on the piano and trying to record them so he could listen to what he was dreaming up. But when he went to listen to the first recording, it turned out he hadn't plugged in things properly, and it was all just a very loud kind of electronic buzzing, a very unpleasant sound. And Chris thought to himself, well, what if I was to take that unpleasant noise and turn it into something that would form the framework for an entire orchestral piece? So he slowed down the noise, he transformed it electronically, and made it into a kind of static experience around which the entire piece of music is based. It was a brilliant idea, a great conceit, and turned into a really magnificent piece and the perfect way to actually start the season. Right after you hear that piece, we're going to play a concerto by Michael Dougherty, a wonderful living composer. This is a very new piece that was written for the person who will be playing it, Anne Akiko Myers, one of the great violinists of today. So this was a piece that she had commissioned. It was written for her specifically. And the subject matter of this piece, which is called Blue Electra, is Amelia Earhart, the extraordinary aviation pioneer who, of course, tragically was lost over her attempts to fly over the Pacific Ocean. Amelia Earhart was a hero of mine growing up. I still remember doing a big report on her in the 2nd grade, and I was familiar with her not only as a pioneer, but also as a human being. And it's really fascinating that the angle of this piece of music isn't just her exploits as an aviator, but also as an artist. In fact, as a young woman, Amelia Earhart wrote a number of poems, and Michael Dougherty used these poems as inspiration for this piece. So altogether, this is the perfect way to launch the season. Incredible colors, incredible storytelling, and it will show off your Britt Festival Orchestra. It's a great way to kick off this 2023 year of the Britt Festival Orchestra.